What up, my guys? Man, the intro gets me hyped up every single time. Have to get the vibes going, man. I believe it translates into good plays, man. But I'm your host, Jay Money is Money. Today we breaking down the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers 2022 to 2023 team preview and season win totals. We got our guy Rob Vino and Ski Profit here with us. What's up with you, Ski, my brother? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, man, we get some hearing that theme song. We get a little bit of basketball tomorrow, a little preseason startup. So I'm excited to watch some hoops. Excited to continue to talk these out with you guys, and looking forward to a great season.
I'm right there with you. What's up with you, Mr. Rob Vino, my guy?
Yeah. Like you guys, busy, right? It's that time of year when the NBA, like Ski says, tomorrow's preseason, and you got to pay some attention to know what's going on for opening day. So it just adds to the list of things to do, but it's a fun time of year for us. We wouldn't do it if we didn't want to. So glad to be breaking them down here with you guys today, the Bulls and the Cavs. Let's see if we can point the people in the direction of money.
Yeah, hey, I know that's the direction that I'm trying to head into. That's what we do on this channel. Yeah, it's a nice time right now. We got college football, NFL, man, NBA coming up here. The time is now. Still some baseball as well. But let's get into it, guys. Let's get into first one up. We're going to the streets of Chicago here, man. We got the Chicago Bulls. Win total sitting around 43.5 points, guys. I'm reading. Oh, Lonzo Ball, our guy, Ski. His guy is Lonzo Ball, man. Not so sure what's up with him. Obviously, he started back training, and then now he's saying he can't even run or jump, so he's going to have to have that surgery. It's really tough. He is the starting point guard for that team over there. Have guys like DeRozan and Levine coming back. They're going to need Vooch to play a big role here. They also did get Andre Drummond as well, offseason acquisition here, Ski. How do you feel about – we have to talk about the Lonzo Ball situation because it could matter big for their win total.
Yeah, it's no secret. I've been a big Lonzo guy. I think he's one of the top perimeter defenders in the league. And that's what the Bulls, the Bulls need that from him, from Caruso, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's a big blow. And we look around them, everybody's getting better. I don't see too much that the Bulls did to get better this offseason. So I do think that's a big blow.
Yeah, that's facts right there, Rob. How you looking at this? How do you think this Lonzo Ball injury, him possibly being out the first couple of months, can affect this team total, the win total?
Yeah, it probably affects it negatively, Jay, right? You just have to read what Billy Donovan said about the situation. Goran Dragic is his best point guard, his only pure point guard at this point. And Dragic won't play heavy minutes. He said, so you're talking about a guy who's your best that can go maybe 16 to 18 and give you good 16 to 18 minutes. But after that, it's on the shoulders of Ayu Dosunmu. It's on the shoulders of Kobe White. It's on the shoulders of Alex Caruso. And none of those guys are true ball handlers. It's a problem. It's a real problem. And like Ski said, not only do you make a guy who's not a true ball handler your number one point guard, let's just compare it to Marcus Smart, right? And then, just like Marcus Smart, you ask that same guy to go down the other end and be your best on-ball defender out on the perimeter. It's a lot to ask of a guy like Dosunmu, of a guy like Caruso, of a guy like Kobe White, guys who haven't done it. So I don't know, Jay. It just doesn't shape up well. I actually went through the rosters thinking to myself, well, maybe Chicago could trade and find themselves somebody's backup point or somebody to share minutes with Dragic to make it a full game, But I don't know. At that point, you're bringing them in with preseason starting tomorrow, and you're going to teach them your entire system, and they're going to mesh right away. That's probably not a great idea either. So I think the Bulls are kind of stuck where the point guard position is concerned. Yeah.
Hey, real quick to your point, Rob. I think last year too, when they got Vooch, it's like it threw off the chemistry a little bit. So just the mid-season trades don't always work out so great right away.
Yeah, I want to get to the Vooch in a second because he hadn't looked as well as we thought. He hadn't been the Orlando Magic Vooch over there that we thought that they thought they were getting. He's really underperformed. But I want to talk about the guards again, guys. I think Dragic is like obviously he's lost a few steps. He's definitely on the down. Like this may be his last year in the NBA, guys. In all seriousness, Kobe White, he needs to take that jump. He can play point guard. He's a smaller type of guard, but we've seen him do it in college. He just hasn't really fared well in the Bulls. They were actually talking about possibly trading Kobe White over there. So to Rob's point there, if they were trying to trade some guards, Kobe White would definitely be in one of those packages. That's for sure. I'm not so sure. I like Sumnu. He's a good defensive guard. No, I don't trust him running the offense. Goran Dragic, you can't trust him to stay healthy the whole season as well. He's not necessarily a starter as well. So that Lonzo, like they need Lonzo to be playing 40 minutes and he's not out there. It's going to be tough, but they're real thin at shooting guard depth as well. It's going to be tough for the Bulls. I see them being like an average middle of the pack type of team. It's going to be tough to make the playoffs over there, but I want to start like with Vucevic here, Ski. How do you think he's going to look? Does he take this step up? Because if he doesn't, and because remember, he's not good defensively either. And that's kind of what they've made their calling card the past few years for the Bulls. What do you think about Vooch? Does he take a step up or take a step back this year, Ski?
My opinion would be take a step up just because, we've all played basketball and been on new teams, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes when you first get over there, you're not as comfortable. You don't know everything that's going on. So after a full, half a season and a full off season and all that good stuff, I think he'll look a lot more comfortable and more like his old self. It's really, they don't need him to do as much as they needed him to do in Orlando. So maybe that's also a thing too. But what you said about the defense, I mean, it's only Alex Caruso I see on this roster who's really stopping anybody. So that's going to be a problem for the Bulls in general. And
hold on, Ski. PJ Williams can play some freaking defense now.
Okay.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Why.
is only there for defense. I'm not saying he's a starter, but Patrick Williams is a defensive stopper.
I don't trust this team. That's what I'm getting down to. And if I got to say the main reason why I don't trust them, I mean, I don't think this team got any better. And last year, they weren't any good versus good teams. We talk about the whole conference getting better. They were 13-26 versus 55% when teams are better. And if you can't beat any good teams and everybody's getting better, how you going to get to your win total? That's how I'm thinking.
That's facts right there, Rob. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of it. I would say this to your point, Jay. They did. Well, let's start with Vucevic, right? He probably gets better because of the presence of Patrick Williams, right? Here's a guy who only played 17 games last year. He didn't have a power forward next to him for the most part, right? And Alex Caruso only played 41 games last year. This is a team that was banged up. Certainly there were times when DeMar DeRozan was the only real player on the floor for that team last year. So hopefully, health aside from Lonzo stays good for them and maybe they can be, it probably helps Vucevic. I would think that's the answer to your first question. And of course, with the other two guys, maybe playing full seasons, they're the same team. I mean, the best argument I think I can make is they'd be the same team. Ski hits on a great point. They couldn't beat good teams, and all the good teams got better. So how are you going to beat them now? It doesn't make any sense, right? Common sense, logic school, right? Ski, we're going to go to logic school right here. And that logic tells me that, they can't be better. Billy Donovan, to their credit, Jay, a lot of the stuff I read, Dosunmu got in the weight room to get better. Patrick Williams got to work to get better. Vucevic says he's going to cut down on threes to score more near the rim, which you'd like to see out of him. So a lot of positives there, but in a crowded conference, I just don't know. You look at some of these numbers, 7-1 to win the division. They're the third choice. I don't think they're going to win the division. 30-1 to win the conference, 60-1 to win the title. And the Bulls, really, without Lonzo Ball, they're rated right now as a play-in team. That's maybe the best we can get from them. Play in.
Bulls to miss the playoffs. Plus 175. What you think?
Oh, does that include the play-in tournament, or like that include that's 1 through 8, right? The actual playoffs, or does it include the play-in tournament?
1 through 8.
Oh, they might not make 8.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I did not see it, bro. If they had, it's crazy. It's really crazy because Lonzo really kind of takes him to another level. I'm not that high on him as he is, but he is obviously the best point guard on the team. He is a two-way player as well. It's just crazy because their ceiling is with their starting five. They're definitely a top-heavy type of team. We saw that last year when LaVine went out and everything's on DeRozan. It was really tough. But guess what? DeRozan, LaVine together with an actual point guard, and then you know what I'm saying? If Vooch can be serviceable, Patrick Williams not an offensive guy by any stretch, but he's getting better offense. But guy's a really good defender. If they had Lonzo, it's literally like night and day. With him, they could be a really good team, possibly 6, 7, 8 seed. But without him, I don't see them making the playoffs. I don't see them going on that win streak that they went on last year as well. So this is gonna be a tough one. I like DeRozan, I like LaVine, but it's gonna be tough over there. Especially we'll have to see how Andre Drummond looks as well. So he could be taking a huge step back as well. But yeah, with Dragic on the floor, that's a fade for me. If they're talking about Dragic starting, I'm fading that shit, especially early season, guys. I'm sorry, I've seen enough, man. But anything else on this one, Ski? So what we doing with the win total? You liking the under?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I bet this one under 44.5, but 43.5, I still think they struggle to get there. And the more we talk about it, hearing you guys on the same wavelength as me, Bulls plus 175 to miss the playoffs sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's facts right there. They're saying in the chat the East is deep. That's a good point there, Rob. Like you said, they have the Cavs and the Bucks in their division, man. It's gonna be tough. And the Bucks basically own the Bulls as well. We know that they put them out in the playoffs again last year, but the Bucks basically just own this team. Rob, what are you thinking on this win total?
Yeah, last year coming into the season, Billy Donovan said we're a small team and we'll have to do creative things to compensate for our lack of size, interior size, especially. And they're still really a small team, to tell you the truth, guys. But I would say this, to the points that were made amongst us to start this segment, they're not a great defensive team. And that would lead me towards looking at totals here. We're talking about a couple of situations where Lonzo Ball not playing the other team's point, it could lead to points for the other side. I think the Bulls have scores. I mean, we saw it last year. They do have scores and maybe enough scores to push games over the number. I'd be interested to see where odds makers adjust. Sometimes they over adjust. A guy like Lonzo Ball done for 3 months. Oh, we got to knock 5 points off their totals. If they do, I think the Bulls could be a really good overplay early on till people catch on. And I'd especially say that, guys, from their defensive standpoint, they're just not that good defensively. And other teams should be able to score on them. They're not necessarily a slow team. They probably have to play with a little pace. Dallin Terry from Arizona, that's another offensive player, their rookie that they added to the team. So I would say game by game, I'm looking toward over, to your point about season over under wins. 43.5 means they have to go 43 and 39. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's crazy with those win totals because I mean to say there'll be a less than 500 team, I won't go that far, but it's gonna be tough, man. They guys in the chat making some good points, man. Maybe LaVine, they were kind of already on the fence if he's gonna sign that extension or whatever. Maybe he's like, you know what, I want to go somewhere. Guys, it's a new day in the NBA. These players don't really want to waste. Stop it, Ski. They don't really want to waste their prime years, right? They want to be on teams that's at least that's definitely going deep into the playoffs, trying to win championships. So we could see LaVine and DeRozan get pretty disgruntled here. It's definitely something that we have to keep our eye on. They could quit on the coach as well. So it's definitely something I always say you got to stay locked in with the NBA because if these guys don't care anymore, it's definitely going to be a bet against situation. I will say this. When they go up against teams with dynamic point guards, I'll be looking to fade them, especially early in the season. So point guard play is definitely something that could hold them back to start the season. They can score, but when you're going up against other top-tier point guards, it's going to be pretty tough for the Bulls. So I'll be taking it matchup-wise day by day. That's pretty much it for us on this one. Ski, what were you going to say? You wish nobody's going to the Lakers, bro. Settle down, man.
Hey, what I will say is, I remember an interview and LaVine just saying 2 players he would love to play with. LeBron and Anthony Davis. So we'll see. I like that comment in the chat about him.
Hey,
getting traded at the deadline.
DeRozan was supposed to go to the Lakers. I read today that he thought it was basically a done deal over there, Rob. So DeRozan, I mean, he'd love to go back and play in LA. I'm not sure how the Lakers can trade anybody or get anything done unless it's a Westbrook trade. But what do you think about that if DeRozan were on the Lakers, Rob?
Well, I'd add to it that we spent half the offseason thinking that Zach LaVine was going to go somewhere. He took his sweet time re-signing with Chicago, looked around, and maybe just didn't get the offer that he wanted. I'm not sure. Health-wise, it looks like all systems are go for him. And that's what you want to see, guys. We'd rather see Zach LaVine on the floor than on the sidelines. He's too good of a player. But, I forget who we were talking about last week where we said it could be a fire sale. I mean, maybe we see something big happen here, too, if things don't go the Bulls' way. And, Jay, real quick, to your other point, this could be a 500 team and still cash an under ticket.
Yeah,
so,
that's facts.
They go 42-40, 41-41, and you still cash your under. So, I don't know. This Lonzo Ball thing is a big deal.
Yeah, and some people liking them to get to the play-in, but lose in the play-in tournament. Saying to make the play-in tournament is -120. I definitely think they can definitely get the 10th seed. I mean, they're not worse than the Hornets or nobody like that. So they could definitely get to the play-in. It's not a bad bet to take them to get the play-in, but not make the playoffs. Both of those can cash for sure. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to the season. It's definitely gonna be fun. But yeah, my guy's leaning the under on that team total. Nelwinski, you got something else?
I agree with something you said. I want to fade the Bulls early in the season, and I just looked. It opened at a 5. It's already up to 6 versus Miami in Game 1. I think that's likely a really good spot to hop on Miami because I like them this year. And shortly after that, they play the Wizards and they play the Cavs on the back-to-back. I think that's another spot to smash them. So, what you think about that Game 1 versus the Heat?
It's going to be a tough. I need to look into it more. I'm not a big fan. I'll tell you something. This is a gem, something that I'm going with because I've used to the past few years. I've lost a lot of money early season or lost some bets. So I need to get this shit figured out. I'm starting to figure out you want to take the younger teams versus the veteran teams. It's almost an extension of preseason. So I need to obviously like with Lowry starting. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the really old players start. Like when I say Dragic as well. So if we see Dragic versus Lowry starting out there, it's going to be hard for me to bet that game. But that's what I'm starting to learn because I also heard LeBron say it takes him about 15 to 20 games to get in game shape. That just leads me to leave. That's why I've been losing these games early season. We're taking the quote-unquote better teams, but they have more veteran aspirations as well. They're trying to get to the finals, so they don't really care about early season. It's extension of the playoffs. So I guess I said all that to say I'd actually lean Bulls plus the 6 in that game.
Hey, we'll see.
Yeah, I hadn't looked into it too much. I'll get into it more. I don't have to play every game, but definitely look into it. But guys, let's get over here to the Cavs. Robert, you got anything else? What do you think about that game versus the Heat?
Yeah, when you said veterans in early season, it made me think of Trae Young again. Who cares about the early part of the season?
He's not even a veteran.
So, yeah, he's not even. And where Miami's concerned, hopefully some of their young legs in the backcourt stay healthy. Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, these guys that are young that can play, maybe ease the burden of minutes on Kyle Lowry here this year.
Yeah, that's fake. We can't forget, man. He's pretty old, man. He's pretty old. But let's segue into this. I can't wait to talk about this. Let's talk about this, man. We got the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers, blockbuster trades. You know what I'm saying? They got Donovan Mitchell over there. Oh man, I love it. You got Darius Garland, Mitchell. You put him over there with Mobley and Jared Allen. This is going to be a tough team, man. Once they figure things out, Bickerstaff shown he's a really good coach as well. Here, guys, what are we doing here, Rob? What do you think the Cavs are going to look like this year?
I like them, Jay. I have to say, I went through this roster this morning, and there's such a good combination. They have 3 guys that can protect the rim. They have 4 guys that can shoot threes. They have 3 guys that can ball handle. They just, when you start thinking of combinations of aspects of the game and how many players do you have that can do it, they got guys that can do all this stuff right here. The one weak spot, I guess, they're kind of determining who their small forward is going to be. Isaac Okoro's a heck of an athlete, was in college, but hasn't really come through yet. And he's not being guaranteed the starting job here. Believe it or not, the kid from Belmont, Dylan Windler, JB Bickerstaff pointed to as a guy who's tearing it up right now in training camp, and he could see more minutes. He's been hurt quite a bit. But when you get away from their starting unit and you can come with Karis LeVert as your sixth man, and you can come with Osman, and you can come with Kevin Love, who had a rebirth last year, the guy could still play the game. The stuff that he does well, right? He's a good rebounder. He shoots threes, 39% last year. He can assist for a big man. Robin Lopez being your backup center to defend the rim, to me, that's a big deal too. 10, 12, 14 minutes out of him playing defense and guarding the rim. So I like the Cavs. The one thing I think they might be a little bit short on is backup firepower. You know, the stuff off the bench, it's close, but I don't know that it's elite level yet. But other than that, I mean, when you start getting away from the Boston, Milwaukee, and Brooklyns of the world and Philadelphia's, Cleveland's creeping up. They're not in that tier, but I think they could be the fifth best team in the league. I think they could certainly challenge Miami for being the fifth best team in the conference. So we'll see, but I kind of like the Cavs. I love the Donovan Mitchell thing. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
What do you think, Ski? Is this a big deal?
Hell yeah, it's a big deal. Hey, the Cavs, I mean, they already showed you that they was good last year. They took a huge step forward, and majority of that has to do with, I mean, the bigs, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. I mean, because I got to talk about it. I know we're talking about Spider, but when I think about the Cavs, what makes them good is they got them trees down there to protect the paint, and they just play like a shell defense. They try to have everybody just, don't gamble too much, keep them in front of you. You got that help behind you type of deal. And it's been successful. Even when they do have to, start switching and rotating, they do a good job of doing that. So I see their defense, even maybe taking another step forward this year and making it hell for teams. They got that Garland pick and roll with Jared Allen or Mobley. They got Spider who can come in and close the games for them now. This Cavs team is going to be tough, man. We talked about the East getting better. I want to ask y'all, the Bucks been running this division, right? They're minus 300. Can the Cavs give them a run for their money this year? They plus 300.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised. Hot take. I don't be surprised if the Cavs win the Eastern Conference this year. This fucking it's scary, bro, what they did last year. And then you add a superstar like Donovan Mitchell. His defense, he can play some defense, just didn't care over there in Utah. But they basically have two Rudy Goberts over there. You see what I'm saying? Now you have the offense. Now Darius Garland has some help. You can't key in on him. You bring in guys like LeVert off the bench. It's unfair. It's absolutely unfair. Karis LeVert is a starter in this league, guys. Then you got, like you say, Kevin Love, a veteran that's going to bring some veteran presence, championship type of presence off the bench as well. He actually wants to play basketball again, like Rob alluded to. Bickerstaff has a guy playing, wants to play basketball again. He's working in the offseason trying to get better. LeVert, Love. They added Nito as well, who he's a good role player. Guys like Ozzy Kokoro, Seti Osman, added Robin Lopez, which, it's not huge, but he can still play some defense, protect the rim, and get rebounds for them off the bench. Still have Dylan Winder as well. I like this team. Dean Wade, Lamar Stevens. I like what the young core did last year as well. This team definitely has a future. If not this year, by next year for sure. I see the Cavs really getting back to the top of the Eastern Conference. And I don't bet futures like that just because obviously injuries can plague you, the whole season. If Mobley or Allen gets hurt, it's done. You see what I'm saying? But I'd be looking at Cavs to win the division, man. Middleton is not 100% right now. He may not be playing early in the season. Bucks are still those guys, but the Bucks, they have a problem, right, because Allen and Mobley can kind of hold Giannis at bay. I like the Cavs. I love the Cavs this year. We will make. I actually have the Cavs socks on right now, no lie. But we're going to make plenty of money with this team. Let me switch the background. I love this team this year, man. Not too much, but let's just say that I believe this another year where that they're going to be slightly underrated, even with the Donovan Mitchell trade. I like this team this year, Rob.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to make to begin with is you can't find a weakness in these guys, right? You can't say they don't handle the ball. Ricky Rubio is going to come back somewhere between November and January and give them 3 point guards, 4 point guards, because either Mitchell or Garland could play point. And then you have, like you said, Raul Neto comes in, and then you have Rubio. So you got 4 guys that can handle the ball. Chicago doesn't have any. So right away you're ahead of the game. And the Trees, like we say, when they go to the bench, they can bring Robin Lopez in just to defend and guard the rim. You got 3 of those guys. You've got something of everything. I just don't know where they go wrong here. And to your point, Jay, when you were talking about veteran teams, guess what? The Bucks are becoming that veteran team, and the Cavs are the young team. So as far as division odds go, you could be onto something there. This team may get off to the really hot start. They do cause some problems for Milwaukee. I know they have Drew Holiday, a great defensive point guard, but now Garland or Mitchell, who cares? Mitchell closes games, but Garland showed he could close games too. So they got a lot. They got a lot here, and when Rubio comes back, they have even more. You hope their health is good, because if it is, we're talking about this all on paper right now. We don't know what's going to happen. But I would be willing to say that if Milwaukee goes through a couple of veteran injuries, hello, Cleveland, right, at plus price in that division. So, yeah, I like them. I can tell by you guys, you both like them as well. But there's really very little you can pick at and say it's a negative for the Cavs right now.
Yeah.
Let me expand a little bit on what he's saying and what you have said too, Jay. They're a young team, right? They still, you said it too, they're gonna be still a little underrated this year, under the radar. I mean, why the hell are they underdog in game 1 versus the Raptors?
I was looking at the same shit, and I took Raptors. I'm always trying to learn. You got to look. One thing I want to make possible, guys, like even guys that you think are experts, we still have to learn every single day. So I'm saying, beginning of the season, tore my ass up last year. I remember, man, I'm like, I got to switch this around this year. I could not let this happen. I took the Raptors game 1, their home opener. It was game 1 or game 2, home opener versus the Wizards. Smacked them. You see what I'm saying? Like it was like 100-something to 83. It just absolutely smoked. I had a big play, a big bet on the Raptors, and it's got smoked. And so I'm just trying to go. They didn't have Siakam, but I was just looking at like, why do they start so slow? You got guys like Van Fleet. They do have Scotty Barnes now, but a lot of their guys, OG Anunoby, it takes time for them to really get going, man. So yeah, game 1, I'm looking at the Cavs plus the 3 or on the money line there. I think they're being undervalued to start with. And the Raptors show that they can start out slow. The Cavs will probably start out fast. This is a team, that's probably why they won't go too far in the playoffs this year. They'll probably like go all in on the regular season, like the Jazz did a few years ago. They'll go all in, get the best possible seed, probably could be legitimately a top 3 seed. They can win the division. They're definitely live there, and I think the Bucks are too big of a favorite, maybe. But I think the Cavs come out here with a lot to prove, and just their style of basketball, God. This is what I'm starting to realize, Rob. They when you care about defense like they do, regular NBA teams don't do that. Like they're not paying that much focus to defense like the Cavs do. So yeah, when you go and play them, it's tough, man. Like nobody likes good defense on them, man. Trust me, I know. Ski. So I like the Cavs in that game 1.
And I'll kick it back to Rob. I know we skipped Rob a little bit, but I was with you. I struggled to start the year last year, and I was trying to figure it out too for myself. I do these previews all the time, and I have these opinions about these teams, and then I wait till the day of the games, and I start to just second guess and change my mind. And the initial way I was thinking when I'm doing the previews was the correct side. So I'm just not going to be scared or nervous and just roll with how we're feeling. So I like it. It was +7 as an opener. It's down to +3. I don't think they're going to be an underdog when it starts. And even further than that, I talked about that spot. The next game that they play, they get 2 or 3 days off, and then they play the Bulls on the back-to-back. I think you take the Cavs game after game after game and start the season.
That's facts, Rob. What you think about that?
Yeah, to the point that we've been making here, guys, the Trees and Cleveland, give JB Bickerstaff credit because he came up with that. But then 2.5 months later, who else figured, hey, let's do what Cleveland's doing in New Orleans. All of a sudden, Jackson Hayes is in there and they're putting trees. It's contagious if it works. But in the NBA, we all know, the 3 of us know that it's a lot harder to get guys to buy into defense than it is offense. Everybody wants to get up and get their 20, but not everybody wants to come back and play the other end of the floor. And these guys want to play it. They play it with heart. JV Bickerstaff, I saw a quote from him. He expects out of Evan Mobley to be among the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's putting that on his shoulders. He's not saying that like, I think he's going to be in there. He's saying, no, this is what I'm demanding of you. You have to be in the Defensive Player of the Year candidate list at the end of the year. Very well could be overall Defensive Player of the Year if he plays the way he's capable of in his second year. So all I can say is last time we were here together, that Philly-Boston came up, and I think we were moving lines before we got off the air. And do we have to move lines again?
Oh,
it's already moved, so I guess we can't move it even more. But we have to. I got to let you guys press buttons before I press buttons.
Yeah, let me get in there.
I definitely moved that shit. I definitely moved that Philly line. I was literally at the casino. It was +4, and I put another bet. I make a lot of small bets so that one play is not moving the line, and it moved 4 to 3.5. The money line moved from +155 to +145, literally in a few seconds. And I didn't care. We finna cash. The nuts guaranteed, but I like it, my guys. It's actually still if just on the quick note on that, you like the Sixers money line game 1. There's a rogue +175. There's one +175 at Caesars. So if you like the Sixers on the money line, get the best price. It's basically +145, +150 everywhere else. But I know yesterday it was still +175 at Caesars. So check out it. Make sure you're getting the best of the line. But I'm just looking at this Cavs versus Toronto spot here, and I might be on this. Let me get. I think something happened with. So he say his laptop died. It's all good. We about to get out of here now. I know Ski likes the over for the Cavs win total here, Rob. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I like the over as well. I didn't bet it. I'd actually rather play I like the win total over, but I actually think that I think that win division +$3 is I think that's going to shorten up. Let's put it that way. I don't think that that's going to be as high as the season, like get halfway through the season. Rob, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, anybody watching that wants to take, I don't know, I'll call it a flyer, right, Jay? If you want to take a flyer on the Cavs, take a flyer on the Cavs. But I think that we are a hair more serious than a flyer when we're talking about the Cavs to win this division. There's we laid out a lot of the reasons why maybe they can do so. I found +350 this morning. So they're probably out there for folks watching. You can probably find 350 rather than $3, 7-2 odds. If things break their way, they can certainly do that. I think that I'll say this to people out there. Don't be afraid if the Cavs, when they're favored, if odds makers start to adjust, right? And let's say the Cavs become 7, 8, 9, 10-point favorites, and they're a defensive-minded team. I would say don't be afraid to play that favorite still, because the Cavs are your typical 102 to 87 type team winning games. You know what I mean? Just because the game's going to be lower scoring doesn't mean you can't cover a bigger number. So we're probably all saying the same thing. We like the Cavs game to game. We like the Cavs season win total over. And we feel like you can take a shot with them to win that division and dethrone the Bucks, especially Bucks being a veteran team. Maybe an injury happens.
Yeah, no, if the Bucks have an injury, which Middleton's already not, he's coming in still off the injury last year. He's not going to be playing to begin the season. Giannis coming off Euroball. Drew Holiday, that's my guy, but he's getting up there in age, guys. So we got to pay attention to, especially with a championship team like the Bucks. What are they going to do? We don't care about the regular season. Let's just get into the playoffs. They know what matters. That's the whole nother season there. Ski, you're bad. We're just talking about the Cavs here. We're about to wrap it up. You liking the Cavs season win total over, right?
Yeah. It's at 47.5. I saw it open around 42.5, but they got 44 last year. I think Donovan Mitchell and just another year of consistency and chemistry can help them get at least 4 more wins. So yes, I'm going over.
I like it, man. I couldn't talk you off as well. I'd definitely lean it over. I lean the Cavs to win the division as well. I know they got some really good teams in that chat. We got the fanboys in the chat, man, say y'all forgetting about the Raptors, man. It's a really good division. They're not in their division though, but I know what you're saying. He's saying to Raptors top 3 possibly in the East. But yeah, to win that division, it's them against the Bucks. And I feel like if you can get that +350, like I just came from the damn casino, but I gotta get on that, bro. Like, because really, it wasn't any injury to the Bucks or them just slowing down, or they could just be like, you can have it, Cavs. We want to win in the playoffs. We don't give a damn about this regular season trophy. I really see the Cavs going all in to win this division. That would be an accomplishment on its own, right there, right, Rob? That plus 350, man. I like it.
The Cavs have the 6th most scheduled wins. So as far as like strength of schedule, easy schedule, that fares well for them.
And guess what? Even straight up, I'm taking the Cavs versus the Bucks right now. Like they could be playing in Milwaukee. Laying 7 points. I'm all over the Cavs in it. Like I don't think the Bucks can fuck with the Cavs right now. Especially they already couldn't fuck with them really without Mitchell. Now he's there. You got another 3-point shooter over there. You can't zero in on Garland. They have a closer. It's about to get scary. I like it.
Guys, let me give you this real quick before we get out of here. Let me give you this. I want both you guys to give me an answer. Either you buy in or it's garbage. Here's a quote from Donovan Mitchell. With the extra offensive talent around me, I'm going to focus more effort on the defensive end of the floor. Buying in or all garbage?
I'm buying in too.
So there you go. I mean, if you add Donovan Mitchell with defensive intensity to that team, they're tough. It's just an added extra weapon on that end of the floor. It's crazy, but there may be some unity here, guys, and some cohesiveness now that already existed, but they get an all-star piece to buy right in with them and their style of play. Could be really good.
And he actually likes his team. He likes his team, his teammates. That's could be even more scarier right there. You get Donovan Mitchell that actually wants to play with his guys. He actually likes them. It's going to be scary, man. Let's get some money with these Cavs this year, guys. I appreciate Rob for coming on with me, Ski as well. We definitely be doing more of these previews. 2 more teams tomorrow, guys. What do you say? 2 more teams tomorrow?
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I had to go to the casino, man, and pick up. I got to handle my business, man. So that's why I wasn't around. But I got to handle my business first, and then we'll come in and knock these team previews out, my guys. But that's Rob Vino. Go follow him on Twitter right now at Rob Vino Sports. That's Ski Profit. Follow him as well on Twitter at Ski Profit. Both of these guys have plays up over there on Wager Talk. College football, NFL, baseball, all the good stuff. Rob, real quick, let them know what you got going over there at Wager Talk, my brother.
Yeah, wagertalk.com. First of all, if you're not a member already, just go over, drop your email address. You'll be a member and privileged to all the free media content that we do as a company every single day. Analyze almost every single game on the board each and every day. So you want to do that first and foremost. If you're interested in selection packages, go right over there to wagertalk.com. Mine are always available. I will say this, Jay, and we'll have we might have this tomorrow for everybody. I'm not sure. I'll try and find out. But they are at Wager Talk running a promo, a little combo promo for me and Ski as far as NBA season is concerned. There's a little video commercial for us and a promo, a coupon code. So if I can get a hold of it or have them send it over to you, we'll certainly let everybody aware of that tomorrow.
Got you for sure, my guys. What's up with you, Ski? What you got going over there on Wager Talk, my brother?
I do have another top play for this week in NFL. My top plays are 3-0. And on NFL so far this season, about 63%. So I've been doing well there. Baseball, yesterday I did have a loser, but in general, I've been doing pretty good. A little bit above 60% my last 56 plays. So you can find all my work at Wager Talk, all my shows, everything else I do, I tweet out on Twitter. And I appreciate you having me, Jay.
Anytime. Yeah, we back right here again tomorrow, man. 1 p.m. Eastern with the next 2 teams of my guys. 2 teams coming. What's the next 2 teams? Rob, let me see. What we got? Denver?
We got Dallas. No, it can't be Dallas. Can it be Dallas, Jay?
Who is it?
There you go.
Who we going through tomorrow, my guys? Just real quick. The next couple of teams. It don't matter. We'll be back tomorrow, my guys, with 2 teams.
And we're good at a lot of things. We're not good at alphabetical order.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Dallas. Now we got I'm pretty sure it's Dallas. We're talking about Dallas and Denver tomorrow. Looking like we'll get to it, man. 2 more team previews tomorrow, my guys. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter. Hit the like button, subscribe as well. Share the show if you can, man. Not a ton of love on the previews, guys. If y'all can retweet it, share it to your social media. We're trying to get as many people locked in on this NBA as possible. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We out. Till next time. We back tomorrow.